CPM was in a power, they killed Ananda Margis. In that case, this judgment has come. The protection guaranteed under Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution is not confined to matters of doctrine or belief, but extends to act done in purpose of religion, and therefore contains a guarantee for rituals, observances, ceremonies, and mode of worship which are essential or integral part of religion. What is Waqf then? It's an integral part of the religion. Madam, essential part of religion means the core beliefs upon which a religion is founded. Core belief of the Muslim is that Allah is there. I am dedicated my property to the Allah. Therefore, it's a Waqf property. It is upon the consensus essential power practice that the superstructure of religion is built, without which religion will be no religion. Madam, nobody can say that essential part or practice of one's religion has changed from a particular date or by an event. The proposed amendment clause 3 proceeds with the assumption that Waqf are riddled with the issues of mismanagement. It appears that primary basis of the assumption, very important, the very primary basis of the assumption is the quantum of pending litigation surrounding Waqf. If the basis of identifying body as mismanaged in the amount of litigation that is pending against in this cannot be a rational basis of determining the standard of management of a body. In fact, the Honorable High Court of Delhi in the case of Union of India, Kiran Manua, they has given the details of the pending cases. If pending cases are the ground for bringing the legislation, now I tell you the figure, statistics. In the pending civil cases in Supreme Court, 64,687. Pending criminal cases in Supreme Court, 18,235. Total pending cases, 82,922. And in Waqf, all over India, 14 to 15,000 cases are pending. It cannot be said to be a basis. Madam, Section 3A, the clause creation of Clause 4, Section 3B, insertion of section that mandates that every Waqf, prior to the commencement of the shall file the details of the Waqf property dedicated to Waqf. I have already dealt with that. Madam, the Waqf board under its bench statute has declared a property to be Waqf in the case that the government has to challenge the same before the appropriate court of law. Oh, sorry. Madam, this is a very important, I have missed it. Now the property, government property, according to minister, the state government officer above the district magistrate will decide the issue. How it can be? How the state can be judge of its own cause? State will decide this is my property and it will be binding. And the problem is this, the moment it will be claimed, it will not be treated as a Waqf property. Madam, title of the land only can be decided by the civil court, not by anybody. And this title, this land, the power which has been given to decide the land, whether it's a government land or not, that is covered by the state list under entry 18 and entry 35. That is the list 2 of the 7th schedule. Parliament has no power to legislate law in respect of that.
I want to know from the persons, the political leaders who were campaigning in a very obnoxious way, kindly show, sir, kindly show to this house any one provision, one line or one word where it has been stated that the Muslims' property would be taken away. Where it is written in the bill? Kindly tell them to show only one line. There is no such thing in the bill, and the campaign will continue. Such false campaign will continue even after passing of the bill today. That is why this will always remain a question whether there is any such word, at least including the punctuation mark, which shows that the properties of the Muslim will be taken away or the Muslim community would be taken away. My next point is that Waqf by user. While doing so, I'll go to the definition of Waqf as was given in the 1995 Act, which says that Waqf means the permanent dedication by any person of any movable or immovable property for any purpose recognized by the Muslim law as pious, religious or charitable, and includes a Waqf by user, but such Waqf shall not cease to be a Waqf by reason only of the user having ceased, etc. What is the dedication? Where is the dedication of a property and by the person Waqif as to certain land or property for using by the Muslims as user, and that would be treated as Waqf property? The definition of Waqf shows permanent dedication, but the inclusion under Subrule 1, there is no whisper as to the dedication, let alone permanent dedication. No such thing is there. So how a property which is being used by some community can be Waqf property? Maximum that can be a property which is being used. In the land record, it is stated that user, ব্যবহারকারী. Hey, chop.
Only a very good point, sir. Very good point.
किच्छु जाने ना, बगर, chop.
Manya Sadai, please address it.
So, when the definition of Waqf does not say anything about does specifically say about permanent dedication, and the next subsection says nothing about the permanent dedication, we should keep in our mind that as a river cannot rise above its source, the next section cannot go above the definition as has been given as permanent dedication. There is no such thing. I know that this malafide campaign will go and will continue against BJP and against the Union of India, who is passing the bill today. That is why I am asking again this question through you, sir, to the leaders of the opposition, where it is. How an user can be marked as a user property can be marked as Waqf when there is no dedication, again I repeat, let alone permanent dedication.